What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 409 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, number 1 most disrespectful and unprofessional lacrosse podcast on the market. It's the Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. KB and Deej, little throwback kickback here. Hoots is back to mountain climbing again. So we're just running a two-man game this week, but
I'm sure he'll be back down from the mountains next week.
He might just think we're being disrespectful, but I promise you, we're just out here being ourselves.
That's very unprofessional of us.
And my bad. It's episode 409, and we got a lot to dive into from the NLL. Shout out to the boy. We'll kick it off right here. Shout out to the boy Cam Wires. Signed a 2-year deal with the Archers, running it back with Utah. Shout out to the boy. But yeah, we got a lot of NLL to dive into this week. We'll recap quickly all the games from last week. We have a full slate for the first time in 3 weeks in the NLL, which is fantastic. We have myself and RJ, Ryan Tessier at RJ Clip That will be at the Wings game on Friday night. Our boy Zach will be in San Diego on Friday night, so we're going to have insane coverage across the board this week. I got to find out when there will be a week when all four of us are at a game with Hoots in Colorado as well, because Colorado's on the road this week. But 1 week we'll have like the perfect trifecta of all of our credentials lining up and just having 3 games covered at once.
And maybe I'll find a way to magically appear and get a special game credential somewhere for that 1 week.
I mean, with the way you travel, I wouldn't be surprised what your backdrop is.
Okay.
It's the first time with this in 2026. My bad, that was disrespectful. That was unprofessional of me.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because we talked about that last week. We could have left that there.
That's my fault.
Well,
I just haven't seen that background since last year.
I guess that was released in 2026. That episode last week was released in 2026. So.
I just haven't seen that background since last year. So
you were so corny. I guess that's what we're here for, though, right?
Yeah, you know.
The X's and O's, but
you come for the dad jokes, you stay for the disrespect and unprofessionalism.
Ooh, we gotta switch it up. I liked it. Come with it. Fire.
Oh, hysterical. Before we get into everything,
we're gonna have way too much fun with this.
You know me. Captain Petty in this bitch.
He shouldn't even did that. He just giving us content.
Man, that's crazy.
He just giving it out. Okay, I'm done.
We're so disrespectful. This is so unprofessional of us, guys. We're sorry. We're sorry. Get his ass, DJ.
Bro,
funniest tweet of all time.
Probably the number 2 tweet involving me of all time.
That's a number 1 for me.
My number 1 is obviously
the vlog. Yeah.
The vlog, yeah. But that's 1B.
So
that's 1B. You couldn't imagine my face.
Who it was from, you can hear it in his voice.
When that
just the delivery.
Yes, that was the thing. I literally screamed when I saw it because I instantly heard it in his voice. I was like, ah!
Oh, it's so
and
good.
it like lit an extra fire under me, bro. I like couldn't wait for him to respond back. I literally felt like that TikTok where it was like, and you get in an argument and it's got the drums going like, and you just see the person's hands just flying. Oh my god, that was so much fun.
You were like Rosie when he's tweeting that he's about to write an article to Kermit the Frog on the typewriter.
Going.
But make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB Lax Pod across the board. We're on every social platform. So be sure to follow us. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook. We're on everything. Follow our boy Ryan at RJ Clip That on Instagram. Follow Zach at ZachWeens.media on Instagram to keep up to date with all of their photo taking action. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media. Follow DJ SCS_next great. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on the tweet machine. Also follow Underground Industries. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's at The Underground Industries. We kind of soft launched it on this show for the first time last week. But that is the new name of the network of shows that OTB is on. Underground Sports Philadelphia is not changing. It's strictly a business thing to make it easier for us to pitch Underground Sports Philadelphia, the podcast, to advertisers. And we all loved Underground Industries. It reminded us of Stark Industries from Marvel. It reminded me and Owen of World Industries from the old CCS skate magazines with the flame and fire mascot guys. And our tagline is we're trying to redefine the industry, and I think there's no better tagline for us, as we're like the renegades of this digital media world. And Underground Industries is going to be the place for that, so go follow at The Underground Industries, Instagram, TikTok, and we're on Threads, trying to figure out a perfect handle for Twitter just because it's too long of a name for Twitter, but I'm messing around with some stuff there. But we'll be on every social platform before you know it, so just go follow us there and subscribe to that YouTube channel, youtube.com/@TheUndergroundIndustries. Subscribe to OTB on Apple, Spotify. First episode viewable on Spotify last week. It's now viewable on Spotify. Let us know if you are a Spotify viewer, how you liked the user interface of it all. We just want feedback because we're testing it out with all of our shows. So we just want to hear from you guys. Let us know how you enjoyed the experience. If you're sticking with YouTube, if you're just mixing between both, you can still listen to the show on Spotify as well. I'll let you switch back to audio. There's no difference there. And Apple Podcast users, you stay the same. But leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia is where you get this show every single week. Full video episodes, clips, shorts, live streams of all original 6 shows on our network. And this show also appears on the OTB channel now in the collaborations tab. So you can watch over there if you're subscribed to OTB. That's youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod, which with 11 more subscribers, Deej, we will be recording the first ever episode of the OTB College Show, which everyone has about 21 days at most to get 11 more people to subscribe.
Just 11. Come on, folks. That's KB's favorite number. Do it for KB. If you're not going to do it for nobody else, do it for KB.
Do it for me, because the best part about that show, Deej, I'm not going to be there.
Oh, I know. I get to be as unhinged as I want to be.
It's fantastic.
And that's the problem. I'm
it's
leaving.
You out here like, let me drive the boat.
Yeah. I'm driving the boat. You ain't even going to let me. I ain't asking. I'm taking the boat. It's my boat now.
He said, look at me. I'm the captain.
Look at me. I'm the captain.
Oh, it's so good.
Bro, I'm telling you, it should
It's
be
so
illegal
good.
for us to be together.
Subscribe to the
People
OTB
just don't
channel.
know.
YouTube.com/@OTBLaxPod. We're 61 subs on the Underground Sports Philadelphia channel from 1,300. Can we hit that before the end of the month? I think we can. That'd be pretty sweet. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. How we living, Deej? It's another week into this new year. It's our 8th day out here. I don't know how I'm doing. I don't know how you doing. You're back home.
Yeah, I'm chilling. It ain't nothing crazy yet. It's the beginning of the year, so every kind of just filling it out, setting up the resolutions and stuff. I got to check back in with the lady at the gym so I can get started. I got a free membership through my job, but she's been kind of slow responding, so I'm trying to get back on it, man. I'm trying to get back up to somewhere between 185 to 200. And, transparency, your boy's only about 150, and that's even, I say that's maybe even giving me a few extra pounds.
I'll donate some.
It's slight over here. So I'm definitely trying to put some weight on. So just setting that up. I'm preparing to take a hiatus from some activities that I enjoy and possibly may never return to those activities. So that's been on my mind a little bit as well. So really turning the leaf toward a healthier lifestyle as I prepare to leave my hometown in 5 years or so for the first time since college.
We're on that same trajectory because people forget I do have a 6-pack. It's just in the fridge.
Facts. That's the only place you got one.
It's all underneath the fridge. It's there. It's just dormant in the fridge. Go check out Fridge Facts on my social medias.
Plug.
Shameless plug. No, I'm trying to set up like a rug. You've been in the studio, obviously, so you know like the desk setup. I'm trying to set up like a floor rug down here so then I can put my walking pad and then during shows just have the legs fucking zooming.
See, I need to do the opposite. I need to pump myself with my scent.
OTB after dark.
Just I'm trying to find
smiles with WOTB after
I'm
dark.
trying to find the best way to say this without it like
Being disrespectful
or unprofessional. My protein amount has to enlarge.
intake.
Yeah, but I didn't want
intake?
to say I want to intake a bunch of protein.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, you gotta watch the kids, man. We're gonna be getting clips soon, all right?
Man, what did Michael Jordan say? It was
But
kind of
yeah.
unprofessional of him.
Just the amount of protein right now is not enough for me to put on what I need to put on. So, and I need to pump iron. You can't really put on a lot of weight without working the muscles.
Yeah, I'm just going to be walking.
We're going in opposite directions.
But we're still on the same trajectory.
We're going to end up around the same spot.
Be nice.
Could you imagine?
I
We'd
just
be
wanna
like
drop
the most...
a smooth 30.
Would we be the most ripped lacrosse pod out?
But anyway, now that we're about post-edit 11 minutes into not talking about lacrosse, we're back. Last week in the NLL was a doozy, and our NLL wrap-up is brought to you by our friends over at Buff. Guys, Survivor Season 50 is right around the corner, and if you want to prepare for what will be the ultimate TV experience, you got to get your Survivor official buffs from our friends at Buff. Protect yourself from those outdoor climates, whether it's the snow, the wind, the sun. They've got you covered, quite literally. Use our link in the description to shop with Buff. Make sure you're protecting yourself from the elements all year long. And when you use that link, it lets Buff know you're coming from us. So shout out to Buff for being a proud partner of OTB and Underground Sports Philadelphia. The NLL last week was quite the doozy deej. We had upsets, we had high-scoring affairs, and we had revenge games, and a whole lot more. Last week's results, Saskatchewan defends home turf. They win 11-7 over Halifax. Ottawa outlasts the Oshawa Firewolves offense coming to life, 16-14. And just a reminder, the Alex Simmons OTB podcast science bump was never wrong. It was just early.
It was early.
Buffalo screams back and takes down Las Vegas 15-13. Colorado with their best offensive performance of the year, and I think the highest scoring game of the year, 18-13 over the Rochester Nighthawks, and DJ's Calgary Roughnecks get the job done and get in the win column for the first time in 2025-2026 with a final score 15-11 over the San Diego Seals. Hell of a week. Hell of a performance from a lot of teams. Where do we want to start, Deej? Because I feel like it was
Hell of a performance from me. That's where we're going to start.
Fair enough.
4-1, about damn time. Needed that. I feel like my energy is coming back, but I don't want to talk too fast because with the slate we got this weekend, I could very much be right back where I was. So I just want to congratulate myself real fast before, I come back down to earth like the Michigan Wolverines did against Penn State. So solid week from your boy. But you know where I want to start. I couldn't wait to put that one column next to my name. As y'all know, on Twitter display name, I always put my favorite lacrosse team's record, which I'm going to have to add Michigan's in a separate bracket soon. But yeah, finally was able to put a 1 in the W column because that 0-2 was 0-3. 0-3 was really staring at me, and it really hurt every time I went to put a tweet. And I saw it populate, and it's like Uncle Deej, 0-3. Damn. But now it's a 1 there, and we 1-3, and we making our progression. The most important part is I just don't want us to be in last place because I don't want Toronto to get the first pick. Yes, I'm being very haterish about it. Call it what you want. Unprofessional, disrespectful. I don't care. I'm just being honest because honestly, I'm talking as a fan right now. Honestly, I want Calgary to have kept that pick in the first place. We traded it for nothing. We knew Nick Rose was going back most likely at the end of the year anyway. So, no, you shouldn't have given up your first. Second round, I probably would have still been like, we could have probably kept a second. But I'm more okay with a second going than a first. So, no, I don't want them to be able to pick, I don't know, the best player in lacrosse again. Kind of makes sense to me. That's my whole point with that. But the game was fantastic. I was able to sit down and watch it, which I was very happy with. The boys went out and did their thing. The offense was going from the very beginning. And they got a solid game in net, which that is the one thing I've been asking for. It's not a crazy game. Not this fantastic Matt Vince, Christian Del Bianco style game, Doug Jamieson style game. I just want you to have a decent game. Make the saves you're supposed to save. Maybe make a few crazy saves, a few get by you, but most importantly, you make clutch saves and you win the game. That's what happened. I'm happy with what we saw there. I think that was a great way to end the game, or end the week. It was a great game to end the week on. I think that's the important thing about, to me, like getting the NLL going again in terms of spreading the game is the bookend games have to be great, in my opinion. Because I think that's when you're most likely to catch an average fan, is those bookend games kind of fall at times where other stuff isn't going on. So 9 times out of 10, somebody might fall apart at the game. Okay, how good is that game? Maybe they try and watch a few more games, or they're an ESPN Plus person who can go back and just watch the games on ESPN Plus right there and see like, oh, yeah, these are some solid games. I'll rock with lacrosse more. So this was a great way, in my opinion, to end the week.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at, what we talked about last week with goalies, like catching the loss or whatever, because Cam Dunkerley did come in relief for Chris Origlieri. This one makes more sense because the game eventually got tied, and then Calgary retook the lead as Cam Dunkerley was in the game, so Cam gets the loss there. But nonetheless, I mean, I think that's the biggest headline so far this season for San Diego is like their offense is putting up quality numbers. Like, is it blowing your mind off the page with what they're doing? No, but like in a lot of their performances this year, they've done more than enough to win a number of the games they've played in. Like right now, they're currently sitting at 1-2. They could easily be 3-0 or at worst 2-1, but they're 1-2. They've scored 34 goals this year, which, you do a little math, they're averaging a little over 11 goals per game, but they've given up 43 goals this year. That's the problem so far with the Seals through 3 games, and again, that's a much smaller sample sizes compared to what we've been talking about with Oshawa, where they've played 5 games already. But San Diego's got a goaltending problem right now. And I know Origlieri, was doing fire school stuff, and, there was a delay to him getting to training camp and everything, but at some point, you got to start, noticing it a little bit if you're Patrick Merrill, and, I know you have trust in a guy like that. He's still super young, and, it's still very early in San Diego's season, but if that's a trend that continues, it's also not just your goaltending, it's also your defense in front of your goaltending that needs to step up if your goalie's struggling. And when you have the best face-off athlete, when it's all said and done, to ever do it, you're getting possessions for your offense. You still have a very talented offense with an infusion of young talent with both Cavs and young guys that have come in through the draft and have signed this year. This team's too talented to be giving up that many goals a game, especially with the potential and what we have seen in his career from Chris Origlieri.
Yeah, I will say, one, you got to make some adjustments to your defense, maybe shake up the lineup a little bit, or and you don't even have to maybe move anybody up from practice or anything. Maybe you just change one guy from defense to transition and one transition guy down to D, and you just move within lineups like that to try and spark some kind of fire, or you create some initiatives in the locker room. There's kind of ways to spark that energy within the team. I would say the other thing that they have is I don't feel that their offense is scoring enough. I think that they're really kind of hampered from some of the losses that they took in the last couple of years with guys leaving in free agency. I really think, or retiring, that kind of case, it's really taken away from their offense in the way that it's been operating the last few years. So now a lot of new guys, I won't even say new guys, but some old guys and some new guys are being asked to step into roles that they didn't have before, and I feel like they're still adjusting to those. And it's in a place where it's kind of placing a little bit more pressure on the defense and the goalie, because they're not used to having this kind of pressure to where it's like, oh, we have to play very well. We have to make these saves or we're going to lose this game. It's more like, hey, if a few got by me, that's okay, because our offense is going to go put up 4 in the next 5 minutes. And it's just not the same this year. And
which their offense is fully capable of doing on paper, too.
Absolutely. It's not that this offense is so much worse than what it was before, but when you're asking people to do things that they weren't doing before, it's going to take them a little bit of time to, one, feel comfortable doing that sometimes, and two, just to get acclimated to doing it. And then three, you got the chemistry piece of all that too, because while you're settling into your role, you have other people who are settling into theirs. So once everybody gets settled, then you have to settle as a group. So all of that is happening within these first couple of weeks, and you can see it's having an effect not just on the offensive end, but throughout the team.
Yeah, I mean, their offense is still wildly talented, from Connor Robinson. Corey Small is back from his injury. Pat and Chris Cav, we'll see, what happens with Chris. Obviously, he was activated. But Pat's been playing well. Trey LeClaire, you still have, obviously, Westberg. And you have talent on this offense, and you have a very good transition unit with Courier and Trevor and Cam Acchione, and, Shumay is on that defense, and we've seen him run in transition. We've seen Eli Gobrecht do his thing. I just think they're too talented of a team to be surrendering as many goals as they are. And like you said, the offense just needs to step up just a little bit more, because they're fully capable of doing it. But that's a good win for your Calgary Roughnecks, for sure, to get on the board finally. And there's no winless teams remain in the NLL. Oshawa. Let's talk about that game. Oshawa and Ottawa, the most tongue-twister game for broadcasters nationwide. It felt like the Firewolves were going to get this game in their corner. And then, once again, it just all came crashing down in that fourth quarter, where Ottawa put up a 7-piece. And the big takeaway here for me is, Oshawa couldn't hold on to the lead. They also went 2 for 6 on the power play. When a team is affording you that many opportunities on the power play, when they have an offense that has the caliber that Ottawa's does with Teat, Larson Sundown, with Rob Hellier, with Connor Kiernan, with Riley O'Connor, Taggart Clark, there's so much. And obviously the big moment was the Taggart Clark 5-minute penalty in this game that really was the dagger of all daggers. And for the Firewolves, it's one of those types of games where it's We finally broke through. Dyson Williams, this is the performance we've all been waiting for this season. He had 5 points, 4 goals. Ethan Walker had 7 points, 6 assists. That's what you want to see from Ethan Walker. You know, our guy Alex Simmons, 11 points, a sock trick, and 5 assists. Ty Kurtz, 7 points. Patty Koschalk had 2 assists in this game. Taggart Clark had an assist. Will Johansson had an assist. Corson Keeley had an assist. The ball movement was finally there. But your defense fell apart. The Taggart Clark penalty was huge, so you're playing 5 minutes down a man. And Ottawa's going to take advantage of that. Larson Sundown had 4 goals in this game. Jeff Teat had 10 points in this game. You need to be on your P's and Q's when you're playing against that Ottawa Black Bears offense because they have the guys to go out and score at will. And when you have a guy like Jeff Teat who can answer what Alex Simmons did and have 10 points of his own, when you have a Larson Sundown have 5 points, 4 goals of his own, Connor Kiernan had 5 points of his own, Rob Hellier had 5 points of his own, Riley O'Connor had 5 points of his own. You have to be more disciplined, and I think that's a huge issue right now for Oshawa is the discipline kind of like lapses because they are such a young team. And this is a game that they're going to look back at and be like, damn, we should have fucking had that.
I think one thing a lot of people either choose to ignore or don't know is that you have to learn how to win at every level. Mm-hmm. You can be a winner at any level that you were just at previously. When you move up to the next level, it's going to be harder to win at that level. And everybody knows it no matter what level you're playing at. The effort you get in the first 3 quarters, the first 3 quarters of whatever sport you're playing, just time wise of the game, right? So, hockey they play 60 minutes, so you're looking at 45 minutes. They get 45 minutes in. Lacrosse they get 45 minutes in. Basketball they get 36 minutes in. All these time periods. It's like once they reach that 75% mark, that's a certain amount of effort you're going to get for that. Then that last 25% of the game, you're getting a crazy amount of effort that you didn't even think they had left in them because of what they just did in the first 3 quarters. But you're not used to that because it's a new level. They've been doing this for a while. That's what's happening to Oshawa is they're having to learn how to win at this level. They're having to learn how to hold a lead when a team is actually giving you everything they have. It is much harder the higher you go. And this is one of the highest levels for box. I'd probably put it right below, World Box when you think of how much these guys want to win.
And even to a degree, like, just for the year-roundness of it, like, World Box, you're not playing every single year. You're not together with your nation all the time. Like, these guys, you're in the trenches with your team if you're in the National Lacrosse League from October in training camp, and if you make it to the NLL Finals the very end of May. Like, that's a long time to be in a foxhole with guys, whether it be on Zoom meetings, practice before a game, at games, what have you. You're in it for a long time.
Yeah, and I only put box above it because, like I said, that want to win the World Box is a little bit more than NLL because, winning for your country means more than for your team or for yourself, whatever the case may be. But at this level of box, a lot of these guys haven't won at this level of box. There are a few sprinkled in pieces from that team that went to the NLL Finals a couple years ago, but it's hard getting other guys up to that level. Whether it's from leading by example or trying to coach them through it, they still have to live through it. And that's the portion that Oshawa is in, is they're in that middle ground where half their team has been there, the other half hasn't, and they're trying to help them figure it out, but they still have to live through it. It's almost like a parent-kid situation, where parents try and tell kids about situations all the time, but at some point you kind of have to let your kids live through it because they're going to go do it anyway. Because they're just like, I want to go do it, I got to learn. okay, yeah, my mom or dad says I shouldn't do this, but why? So I'm going to go find out why I shouldn't do it. That's pretty much what's happening here is they're like, hey, we really need you guys to step it up right now in the fourth quarter because they're going to give it their all. And if you don't, they're going to come back and beat us. And they're like, they ain't going to come back and beat us. We up 6. Lo and behold, they lose. Boom. Like, they're learning through that process of like, damn, they were right. We really got to listen to these guys and step it up. So I think they will be okay once they're able to learn how to win. Sometimes it takes, and that's the cool thing about sports is for every group, that time period is different. Some groups figure it out within a few weeks. Some groups take months. Some groups take years. Each group is different. We don't know what Oshawa's timeline looks like, but I will say this game makes that timeline look like it is at least progressing. Because in this fourth quarter, there were moments where it looked like Oshawa was going to steal this game back. And it was never really too far for Oshawa in the fourth quarter. Whereas some of these other games that they've lost in the fourth quarter, it just got away from them completely. And there wasn't really no momentum grabbing moments back for them. I didn't really see that in this game. So I do feel like it is progressing to some extent.
Yeah, and I think, it's a good sign. And, I mean, insane. We thought, the game where Simmer came on the show and then unfortunately went over was crazy amount of shots. He shot 19 times on goal in this game.
Yeah.
And cashed in big time. So shout out to the boy, but hell of a win for Ottawa. They're on fire right now as they sit right now at 3-2. And they're scoring, that's the big thing. They're scoring and doing just enough to allow Zach Higgins to do Zach Higgins things. They lead the NLL in goals for by a wide margin. The next closest is Saskatchewan at 52. Ottawa scored 65 goals so far this year, Deej. They are by far and away leading the league in goals for. If they can get that defense a little settled and really hone in on all three phases, they are going to be a dangerous team this entire season if that happens.
Hey, you said it first. I do want to say that. You said that, with Rob Hellier going there and then, getting a little bit of help to Jeff Teed on that offensive end, that this team had some potential to really put some things together, and they're starting to put it together. And like you said, the offense has been going since day one, but they just needed that energy to stretch through the rest of the team, and it's starting to flow. You're starting to see the other parts of the team step up to match the output of the offense.
Rochester and Colorado. Colorado puts up an 18-piece on what had been almost the Da Vinci Code in Rylan Hartley this season in terms of him not allowing goals. Riley Hutchcraft came in relief in this game. Rylan Hartley didn't even make it to halftime. Hell of a performance. I mean, just an awesome game overall. These two teams are wildly talented offensively, and what better way to welcome yourself home than the way Jack Hanna performed in this game?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Hanna was great in this game. He said, he wasn't sure what it was going to be like, playing there for the first time with a home jersey on, and how the crowd would accept him and stuff. And then he scored and heard the pop, and he's like, all right, I'm ready to ball. This place is going to be great. You saw that energy that he got after that first goal kind of carry him through the rest of that game. He was a great spark plug to this offense and really helped them kind of he just did what Jack Hanna does, couple really nice plays here, some crazy goals, a couple energy plays, and really spreading the love around. And you could tell that the team was happy to have him there. So that was huge for them. In my opinion, was, the way he came out and had that energy, was just ready to have a good time and fit in wherever he was, wherever there was space for him. And it looked good for him. And he had a smile on his face, was happy. So I think that's really the most important thing to me is the guy happy and having a good time playing the game. I don't really care where you're playing. Those two things are going. I'm good with it.
Yeah, Jack Hanna led Colorado in points, 2 goals, 6 assists for the boy, 8 points total. Will Malcolm, 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists. Ryan Lee, 2 goals, 5 assists. Thomas Vila, 2 goals, 3 assists. Jalen Chaster, 2 goals, 3 assists. Hell of a performance from the Colorado Mammoth. We'll get to Ryan Lee in a minute, but on top of that, like, Rochester didn't play poorly. It was just the first time that their back end, defensively and with Hartley, really got tested in a way that they haven't really seen this year, because you look at what the offense did. Lanchbury, 7 points. Fieldsy, 8 points. McConvey, 6 points. You had 2 points from Kyle Waters, 5 points from Ryan Smith. You had a goal from Zed Williams in his return to Colorado. Jake Pacino had 2 points in this game. The offense did what the Rochester offense has been doing all year. It's just Colorado's offense was able to respond to it. And the biggest thing was that second quarter run when Colorado put up 6 goals in a row. Ryan Lee ties it at 5 in the early phase of that second quarter, and then they put up 5 straight goals after that to go late into the second quarter and go into halftime up eventually 11-6 after Lanchbury kind of stopped the bleeding there. But that was the run there that they needed, and they kind of overwhelmingly responded to the run because Colorado scored 4 in a row after Ryan Smith scored the first goal of the game, and then Rochester went on a 4-goal run of their own, so they kind of responded there. And then that 6-goal run was kind of the difference maker for Colorado to kind of give themselves breathing room going into the second half. And, across the board, this game was really even, and I think you look at Rochester, one thing they would want back is just a better performance on the power play. They went 4 for 9 on the power play. Colorado gave them 9 man-up situations, and they cashed in less than 50%. And I think if you ask any of those guys on that team, what could we have improved on, it would be the man up, because when you get that many opportunities, you got to cash in there, especially against the Colorado Mammoth team that has an offense that can compete with yours.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to limit mistakes. I felt like they allowed them to get quite a few power play opportunities, which playing an offense like Colorado, regardless of really what 5 people are out there, you're putting yourself in a tough position playing a man down. And Colorado was great on the power play. Even if they didn't cash in 100% of the time, the motion they were getting, the shot opportunities they were getting, it really places pressure on defenses when they're able to move the ball that way and get shots. And then they feel comfortable and their confidence starts to grow. And you could see that spread throughout the game. And they were really able to take control. I think the environment at home helped them out a lot as well. And for Rochester, I think it's one of those early season losses that really just helps you settle in. I'm a big proponent of, I really wish there was a way to know what teams were going to be good and bad, because I'm such a fan of scheduling tougher at the beginning of the season a little bit, having a few not let's go play the best team right away, but playing a solid team early on in the season and you lose then, it doesn't affect you in the record book as much, or your team vibe, chemistry, etc. as much to lose then than it does to lose later in the season. Because everyone, your players, the front office, everyone, fans, feels like you should have it figured out at the end of the season. So those losses are what is happening? Why haven't you figured this out? How are we going to win a championship if you're still losing like this? Versus at the beginning of the year, everybody's honestly, everybody's coping and finding a reason why the game was lost before they want to believe that their team isn't good for the year. So, go and have those tough games early, figure out these kinks for yourself as a team, and then you can cruise. Well, I shouldn't say cruise, but you can have a solid footing to yourself for the rest of the season. I think this was one of those losses for Rochester where they can look in the mirror and go, hey, we played a really good team. We weren't quite at our best. We didn't have a terrible game, but we definitely could have played better, and these are some things for us to address. And then, they come back in 2-3 weeks after really being able to work on those things, and you see a much better team.
Yeah, which is why I love that the Wings are now getting a second chance at Rochester this early in the season, because it's like a litmus test type thing for your team. You want to see those teams early that are going to compete, and I think Rochester because of how talented they are and how good of a team, like full roster assembly they are right now, they're not going to get that many opportunities where they are the quote-unquote, for lack of a better term, inferior team. There's going to be those teams that they compete with that they're going to see down the line in April and May for sure. But to get a test like this early on and kind of, for lack of better phrasing, be humbled a bit and kind of see where we need to improve and build upon, I think is going to only make them a better team moving forward. And I think for Colorado, this gives them a lot of, credence into, we made the right move trading for Jack, making sure he was a focal point of this offense, teaming him up with Will Malcolm, with, unfortunately now, no Ryan Lee, but that was the plan, obviously. But to get him in here and be a focal point of this offense with guys like Will is going to be huge. And when you can have those two kind of being your 1-2 punch, you have Thomas Vila, you have Jalen Chaster coming in, who's coming into his own as the games go by. I think this is just going to be the start of something really, really fun with the Colorado Mammoth offense here this season.
Yeah, there's so many bright spots, and you could see this team it's always been unselfish, but they had no problem moving the ball around. Everybody was taking shots. Hot hand was getting fed when they were hot. They just want to see the ball go in the back of the net and win games, and those are the offenses that are the most fun to watch.
Ryan Lee was announced today as we record this on Thursday. Season-ending IR, another knee injury. It sucks. Truly sucks.
Yeah, I just hope this isn't something that is the end. Obviously prayers and thoughts out to him and hoping for, a speedy recovery and safety. And we want to see him back on the field, but I also know how injuries can be in general, but more specifically knee injuries. They're already hard to come back from and just play, to feel comfortable, to trust your knee again, and all of those things. They're more prone to injury once they've been injured before, i.e. the situation we see ourselves in now. And also with age and time and effort, your body deteriorates. So that also adds to the chances of him getting injured again. And with the knees happening so often, the question then turns to, when is he going to say, okay, it's not worth it anymore? Or when are the doctors going to go, okay, actually, you can't afford another knee injury, so you're done? These are all very possible. So, that's what's scary about this whole thing. I don't think that he can't come back. I don't think he doesn't want to come back. And I'm really hoping it's not that bad. But as they start to add up, those questions have to be reality. It's kind of like every time you see a kid get hit in the head. Sowers is a great example. Everybody was kind of having that conversation a couple years ago when he couldn't keep from getting hit in the head and was out with a concussion every couple of weeks. Everybody's like, okay, when is that time coming where he's like, it's not worth it? Or the doctors say you can't play because if you get another concussion, you're going to die. Not figuratively, not literally, sorry. But that whole piece, and I think that starts to come into play with Ryan Lee, which is a bummer because of how electric he is on the field.
Yeah, it sucks. Wishing him a speedy and healthy recovery. And I mean, from a on-the-floor perspective, Colorado's got to be thanking their lucky stars that the Jack Hanna trade saga is done and they have him now in the fold. Because, imagine their offense without Jack Hanna right now and kind of just relying on Will Malcolm to be the guy. And you moved on from Connor Kelly. You moved on from Zed Williams in the offseason. Andrew Q should be back soon, too, so you'll have that boost. But it sucks that you're not going to have that four-man quadrant of Lee, Q, Malcolm, and Hanna all on the floor together. But Jack Hanna does cover up a lot of holes, and that's going to be huge moving forward for the Mammoth. Last couple bits here, Saskatchewan-Halifax. I mean, a very typical Halifax-Saskatchewan game, this time low scoring, but Saskatchewan able to kind of defend home turf. They did their thing. Really limited Halifax in what they were going to be able to do offensively. Great game from Frank Skiggs. And just another monster performance from the Rush, who we said preseason, they're not going anywhere. They moved on from Triolo, they brought in Levi Virch, and everyone else pretty much is still the exact same on a team that was one win away from winning a title. Zach Mans continues to make you look smart.
Yeah, he
4
does.
points in this one, a hat trick. Ryan Keenan, 6 points. Just an overall awesome team effort from the Saskatchewan Rush in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the most impressive thing for me, and really the only thing I have to say about this, is I really like the way Saskatchewan came out 2 weeks in a row and did the exact same thing. I think that's really impressive. If you look at the way these two games were played, Halifax had a little more success in the first game, but the game plan was exactly the same. We go in and we limit the types of shots they get. We limit who takes those shots. We make them easy for Skiggs to save, and then we get out in transition, and we take our opportunities there. If they aren't there, then we allow our offense to work the game and run it. And then when we get our opportunities from Naso, we run the clock and take advantage of the game and really dictate the pace of the game. They did that 2 weekends in a row and took down the same team 2 weekends in a row. That's impressive. And what that really reminds me of is the type of play that you need to have in order to win an NLL Cup. Because when you think about it, when you get into the semifinals and the finals, you're playing the same team either 2 times in a weekend or 2 weekends in a row. So you got to be able to go out and do the same thing that you just did not too long ago. Saskatchewan's showing that they still can do it.
Yeah, they look good. They're going to be good all season long. And then another team that's going to be good all season long, the Buffalo Bandits. They were on the ropes there for a long time in this game. Vegas came out buzzing. They had a dominant fourth quarter. But Buffalo came surging back. This game at one point was 12-5 Buffalo. And then Vegas goes on a run towards the end of the game and makes it a 2-goal game. Dane Smith cut the bleeding of the run there to really put it out of hand. But, man, we said it on the show. It was going to be a high-scoring affair. And again, kudos to the offense for Vegas. But this once again showcases the issues they have on the back end. They're letting up 15 goals. They're going into fourth quarters down by 7. And I know that's also a product of the offense, but when your opponent is scoring as much as they are, your offense isn't getting the possessions. And this was just a clear-cut, like, Buffalo knew it was at stake. They knew they had, some old friends coming back to town. And it's just the same old song and dance when we talk about this Vegas Desert Dogs team in their entire history, where last week they played their most complete game, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, their most complete game we've ever seen them play. And now it's back to a leaky defense and, switching goalies. Alex Bouquet came into this game a little bit after halftime. He gets the loss in this one, which I don't agree with. Back to our discussion from last week, because Landon Kells was losing the entire time. I just don't get it. But hell of an effort from Buffalo. Hell of an effort from the Desert Dogs offense to make it as close as it was. But, man, they have issues on that back end, Teach.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it time and time again. I'm not going to continue to beat the dead horse. They're constructed in a way that isn't going to be successful for them. If they want to have success this year, they have to go out and make a splash move to pick someone up on the defensive end that's going to help. If not, they're just going to have to grind through what is going to be a tough season for them. Grab a few wins and really work through those growing pains before, picking up some key defensive pieces to help them out in the future. Like, I think that's the main thing, is they got to make sure everybody on the offense is happy, keep them around, and then really dive into the defensive end in the offseason. Like, I think that's the mode here. keep that, because the offense is set. You have the pieces you need to have a successful offense. You just got to make sure the defense can match.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw today, I think I retweeted, Buffalo's going to be without a couple of guys this week too, so like for them to get a win like this is huge, knowing that they're going to be missing some guys this week. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what teams look like, come the trade deadline, because it won't shock me if Vegas is in this. Say they're in prime playoff position, knowing Joe Tsai, knowing Sean Williams, they're going to want to take a swing at this thing, and it's not going to shock me if they try to do something like Calgary did last year and say, let's try to fix the back end right now and go get a future Hall of Famer like Calgary did with Nick Rose and see if that supplements anything. Obviously, we know what happened with Calgary making that big swing. Sometimes you swing big and you miss.
Well, we ain't really missed like that. We made the playoffs.
Yeah, but when you
they're not finna do that. So
I'm saying in this hypothetical, if they are in playoff positioning.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to shock me. I'm not saying necessarily trade for Nick Rose, but in that same vein, you go and trade for somebody.
No, I'm caught up now. I just had to make sure we were comparing on even.
Like, let's say this, with us not being in the know of like contract situations and everything. Say Oshawa continues to be as, down in the dumps as they are in the standings. Does Vegas try to make a big old swing and try to get Doug Jamieson?
The thing is, who are you giving up?
Right.
I don't think they have the cap.
Just from a hypothetical.
Even though I know we don't know the numbers, I doubt they have the cap room to bring in Doug.
But like, I'm just saying, like in that vein, like, do they go and make that big swing?
No. I think they would have done it already if they were going to do that.
Well, they went and spent all their money in the offseason on 3 guys, allegedly. Allegedly.
That's the point I'm getting at. They went and got everybody, they emptied the drawers, this is who we need in order to make this thing work, and that wasn't something they thought they needed at the moment. Undersight on my thought. Or oversight, sorry.
It'll be interesting. They're going to be fascinating if they're in playoff contention, like what they do come the trade deadline. I think they're going to be like my team that I am just like watching deliberately
playoff
and what they do.
Wild.
It's crazy, but they have the offense to do it.
I'm not saying that like we're going to be there, because we're
not. Sometimes you just got to throw your hat in the ring, Deej. And you know what hat I'm throwing in the ring?
The one you still haven't sent me?
47, baby. Our friends at 47 are truly the best in the game.
Sort of.
We've got the OTB Johns rocking and rolling that none of you can get because these are one-of-ones, but maybe in the future we'll fully have them at some point. But we're repping 47 all damn day, from NFL to NBA, MLB, NHL, college teams. I know Deej is going to be stocking up if we get 11 more subscribers wearing that Michigan 47 gear. They're truly the best in the game, the most comfortable hats on the market. Use our link in the description, and right now through January 15th, so you still have some time, you can get an extra 25% off already marked sale items with code EXTRA25 at checkout. Be sure to join the 47 family so you get free shipping on all orders. But make sure you use our link in the description to shop with 47 and gear up to rep your favorite teams with our friends at 47. And we thank 47 for being a proud partner of OTB. Deej, this week, full slate of games. Gets started on Friday. A loaded Friday in the National Lacrosse League. We have 5 games on Friday night. All get started at 7 Eastern with 2 games. Halifax at Ottawa and Rochester at Philadelphia. It is an emo evening in Philadelphia, so we've got the pregame and halftime concert going on once again. I think this is the 4th emo night for the Wings, which is always
nice.
A doozy of a time. And then at 9:30, the return of Mad Max. Max Adler will make his Vancouver Warriors debut against your Calgary Roughnecks out in Calgary. And then at 10:30 Eastern, we've got a doubleheader for the nightcap. Saskatchewan at Las Vegas. That is going to be a juicy matchup. And then Toronto at our friends, the San Diego Seals. And then on Saturday, Buffalo at Rochester, Battle of Upstate New York. Halifax at Oshawa, the Adjective Animals Bowl, Part 1 million. And then Colorado at Georgia at 7:30 on Saturday. This is one hell of a slate of games to have a full slate for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. A lot of good games on the docket. A couple teams playing twice. And really just a lot of exciting lacrosse should be. And the one thing I don't like about this weekend is I have a basketball triple header tomorrow for broadcasting on Friday. So I will be watching some of these games from the booth until I can get home. That is the only thing I don't like. But I think tons of action, and we're not getting tons of overlap with the other sports that are going on this weekend. So we kind of get to watch our lacrosse while also enjoying the other sports. It's a good, setup for our schedules. And like I said, the matchups are great this weekend. I think for the most part, outside of the couple weeks that we've had like 2 or 3 games in those weeks, we've had great matchups every single week. Like, I think it's really hard to put together weeks where all the matchups are very competitive. I think the NLL does a great job.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun matchups this weekend. I mean, right off the rip, Halifax at Ottawa looks like it's going to be absolutely tasty with what we know those two teams have been able to do offensively, and 2 supreme goaltenders as well. An early season rematch between Rochester and Philly. Saskatchewan at Vegas is going to be must-see TV. Toronto and San Diego always play each other tough. That's always a fun matchup. And, we get the Battle of Upstate New York with Buffalo and Rochester. We get Colorado and Georgia in an early season rematch with 2 elite goaltenders. And a couple teams on doubleheaders. Rochester on a doubleheader, Halifax on a doubleheader. And I believe those are the only teams playing twice this weekend. But that's going to be some fun stuff to pay attention to as well, with the way the teams play in the back half of their doubleheaders or even the front half. But which matchups are you most looking forward to of this full slate, Deej?
Starts Friday night, 9:30 for me. As you can imagine, I'm happy that I have a win-win situation. Roughnecks will win regardless Friday night, so I'm happy with that. Buffalo-Rochester is always a great game. Really looking forward to Saskatchewan and Las Vegas. And then, Rochester-Philly, too. Rochester has a weekend.
They got a weekend, bro.
That's going to be fire. I'm really excited for Rochester's weekend as well. And then Colorado-Georgia is always fun. I don't know who I'm leaning on that side. Kidding.
I think when it comes to my Riverside game of the week, which, guys, if you're not aware, we are Riverside. We're a Riverside podcast. We use Riverside to record all of our shows now here at Underground Industries. And we made the switch about a little over a month ago, almost 2 months now, and we've never been happier with the quality of our shows. The sound quality is incredible. The user interface is unbelievable. The ability to put clips out, segments out, a built-in editing bay right on Riverside is just incredible. And Riverside is built to make sure your podcast is the best it can absolutely be. So be sure to use our link in the description. I was talking to our good pal Jackson Van Vlake today, Deej. He's in the works of potentially getting a show started. He was like, "Hey, can you send me that link?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." So if you guys are looking to get a podcast started, looking to make the switch from any recording system you're using right now, make the switch to Riverside. It will truly make your podcast reach new levels in 2026 and beyond. Use our link in the description to make the switch and sign up for Riverside today. And shout out to Riverside for being the official software recording program for OTB and all of Underground Industries. My Riverside game of the week, outside of obviously being in Philly for Rochester and Philly, it's Saskatchewan-Vegas. Those two offenses going at it. You got Skiggs, obviously, in the back end. I think those two teams are going to put up crazy numbers. You've got Naso versus Tyrell Hammer-Jackson at the dot. I'm really looking forward to that game, and I'll even throw, another one out there for you. Halifax, Ottawa, getting the week started at 7 on Friday. That game between those two offenses and two elite goaltenders is going to be a ton of fun. Those are two games, outside of me obviously being in Philly on Friday night, are two games I will be locked and loaded on.
For me, my two games, obviously the Battle of the Roughnecks has the number one spot for me, and surprisingly for a lot of people, I'm going to put Georgia and Colorado at number 2 for me. I think those two, when they come together, there's a little hidden animosity there that exists and creates a very fun environment for a box lacrosse game, and it's always a great time. You got Dauber versus Dylan Ward. There's a lot going on there, so I'm really excited for that matchup. And obviously the close third is probably arguably the actually most exciting game of the weekend, the one that we refuse to talk about, Buffalo and Rochester.
Yeah, that's going to be – that's almost a given.
That's what I'm saying. It's like an automatic that we shouldn't really have to talk about it, but I'm not going to not talk about it either. That game
First time these two teams play each other with Rochester's new ownership, too, after Buffalo's ownership sold them.
Yeah, should be absolute fireworks.
Yeah. It's a great week, and just across the board of games. This is what happens when you have a full slate of games, everyone. Every game looks great. I mean, even Toronto and San Diego, with the young talent, Chris and Pat, CJ Kirst, Owen Hilt, Sam English, all on the floor together potentially. We'll see what happens with Chris, but just those four in general with Pat and then the three boys in Toronto, like, holy moly, like, get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a phenomenal week of NLL action, and I'm super pumped for it, man. It's going to be awesome, and just enjoy it all. Enjoy it all, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we might have a full slate next week too, Deej. Looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got full slate next week too. We get to roll it over to next week and have even more fun. But I mean, these matchups are just perfect, and it just showcases, like, on paper, the parity that the NLL has. When we look at these games right now, we have no clue what the hell is going to happen when that final whistle goes, and that's what makes this league in particular and what makes a league like the PLL so awesome, is because it's so goddamn unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, and we've seen teams that shouldn't lose to teams lose. We see teams that shouldn't grab a win, go out and absolutely dominate in a game, and we've seen everything in between. You never know what you're going to get in this league. A game that you expect to be a blowout could be going to overtime. A game that you expect to go to overtime could turn out to be a blowout. Fights happen, injuries happen, so many different things happen in a game that the only thing you can do is watch and then pray at the end that you were right about it. That's it. And then at the end of the game, 90% of these games, you're sweating it out because it's a 1 or 2 goal game and you have no clue what's going to happen. That is the greatness of the NLL. And really the greatness of lacrosse. There aren't too many high-level lacrosse games where you're seeing a lot of blowouts. It really is a lot of competitive games where you're looking like, well, yeah, absolutely anything could happen in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, even in the last 10 seconds in some instances. So it's going to be one hell of a weekend. And like I said, myself and our boy at RJ Clip That, Ryan Tessier, going to be in Philly. And then our boy Zach Weens will be in Toronto. I mean, 2 perfect games with the superstars that we're going to be able to have captured photographically. Also hysterical. The Wings had like a community event today in Vineland. I wish I would have known. I would have gone. Literally right down the street from me at the one school that my mom always substitutes at. And she's off this week because she's like, I'm not working. Like, it's my dad's off until next week. Like, so they just like took time off. I showed my mom. Blaze was at the school, a couple other players, and Wingston. And I was like, Mom, you should have worked today. And she was like, I would have gone right up to Blaze and be like, Blaze Reardon, how you doing, my friend?
and you know what?
Said,
the whole school would
be like, how the hell you know this man?
Oh, no. I would have said the opposite. The whole school would be like, who don't Margie know?
Some people would have said that, too. She said she would have gone up to Blaze and be like, congratulations on the baby. How was the honeymoon? Asking all these, like, intimate questions that nobody in the room would have known.
At all. Like, oh, you just trying to show out now, huh, Mom?
So funny. So funny. But, yeah, shout out to the Wings. They were doing the Sticks for Schools, like, initiative.
Oh, yeah.
Right down the street from it. I love when they come here.
That's
it's
dope.
just so awesome. So shout out to the Wings. And
that's why the Turbos need to come back.
Facts. Vroom, vroom.
Hey, chill out.
You would be like them commercials back in the day. Zoom, zoom.
What was that for?
Was it Subaru?
Was it?
No free ads?
It was one type of car company. I almost said Prius, but I really don't feel like that's it.
Mazda.
Yes. Yes, it was Mazda.
Mazda.
Sounded like a Mazda. It's crazy.
That's hysterical. When did Mazda go out of... They don't make Mazdas anymore, do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Japanese company, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know why I thought they were like one of those companies that got like absorbed by...
There's something similar to it that stopped production recently. But I can't remember what it is.
Some company bought Nissan.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think Toyota.
They're Japanese too.
Uh-huh.
I only know that because Did I tell you about the time I worked at a car parts factory, like, right before we met?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of? Mazda Suzuki.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They stopped making Suzukis. But, yeah. And it was one of the ones that did all of the Japanese cars. So, like, Toyota and Mitsubishi and, like, all that stuff.
No, they still make Suzukis.
But not often. I think it's...
They stopped selling new cars in the U.S. in 2012.
Yeah. They, the only new stuff they sell here are, like, bikes and motorsport stuff.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah, motorcycles, jet skis, motocross bikes, like that kind of stuff.
ATVs.
Yeah, they don't sell any other cars here anymore.
It says product range, marine engines. What are you making, fucking submarines?
Hey, I'm not getting in that.
I sunk your battleship. Zoom, zoom.
I sunk your battleship. Zoom, zoom is hilarious. Put that on a quote card. I'm just gonna start saying that. I suck your battleship, zoom zoom.
Zoom zoom. That's 2026 version of it. Shook 'em.
No, for real. That's just gonna be my way of like closing out anything, arguments.
We gotta find a goal this week to caption it when we tweet it and be like, so and so suck your battleship. ... Zoom zoom.
Zoom zoom. Oh my god,
oh,
so
so
funny.
good. That's so good. Let's get to our picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores, convenience stores, and grocery stores in those markets. Just use that Kenny Finder at kenwoodbeer.com to see who's got it available. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Deej, we start 7 Eastern on Friday. Halifax at Ottawa. Two of the hotter teams in the league. Obviously, Halifax coming off some losses there, but Ottawa, obviously, we know the issues that can be defensively for them, but they've got the offense. They're at home. How do you see this one shaking out?
I'm gonna rock with the home team. I'm gonna take Ottawa. I think for this one, it's the feelings that they have coming off their last couple of games. They're feeling good. The momentum is rolling in their direction, and they're at home. That crowd is going to be happy to have them back at home and playing in front of them with this, the wins they have under their belt and the energy they have. The main thing for me in this one is they have Jeff Teat and they're at home with momentum.
Yeah. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. My big thing in this matchup that I'm looking at is the transition game. And when you have someone of Ryan Terefenko's caliber, when you have a Jake Withers, and when you have the goaltending that Halifax has had as well, it's tough for me to pick against them. And while I think Jeff Teat and Hellier and those boys are going to do what they do, I also think you have, Randy Stotts. You have guys on that Halifax offense that can go blow for blow if need be. But I think Jake Withers is going to be able to get them possessions to help, kind of prevent Jeff and Rob being able to have possession of the ball. So I'm going to go in a close game. I'm going to go with Halifax to get the road W in a Canadian showdown. 7 Eastern in Philly. First home game for the Wings since their home opener. It's been nearly a month since they've been at home between bye weeks and a mini road trip. Rochester comes to town for an emo evening. I love the way the Wings played against Rochester up in Rochester the last time these two teams played a couple weeks ago. They only lost by 4. It was a lot closer than I think a lot of people gave the Wings credit for. I think the Wings are healthy. I think this is going to be a fascinating learn from your mistakes type of game for the Wings. But it's Rochester, and we all know that Rochester is my NLL champion pick. I think it's going to be a close game. I'd love to see the Wings win. I just don't know if they can match what Rochester's offense can present, but I would love to see it. And I think it's also going to be one of those 3-4 goal type games, and it's going to have to be if the Wings end up winning. But right now on paper, I'm just going to go with Rochester to get the dub.
Yeah, I think the Wings are going to come out with some fire. I think they're excited. I think they know kind of what the obstacles are in front of them to win the games they have in front of them and continue to mold as a team. I think the only downfall and the only reason I'm not picking the Wings is Rochester's coming off a loss.
Yeah. That's
like the worst thing on the planet for anyone. Catching Rochester after an L is like a guaranteed L for you. They hate playing after a loss. And they just like see nothing but red. And it's almost like they feel like they're playing the team they just lost to again. So now they just take out all their anger on you when you've done nothing to them. It's literally the 50 Cent meme in real life. I feel so bad for Philadelphia that they're in the way of this, I believe, again. Because I believe the first time they played, Rochester was coming off a loss. That's tough. But it's the reality of the situation, so I'm rocking with Rochester as well.
Yeah. We move to the 9:30 slot. Vancouver and Calgary, the Roughnecks showdown. In Calgary, the return for
the Roughneck Rumble.
A lot of these guys. Ooh, I like that. A return for half of Vancouver's roster to Calgary in this one.
And a return for Riley Lowen to Vancouver. He's going to get his.
Calgary's at home. I love the way they played against San Diego. I love the face-off matchup in this game. Adler coming out of retirement to play for Vancouver while Stathakis is out versus Justin Inacio, who we know and love. I don't know what to make of this game because I loved what I saw offensively from Calgary last week, and the biggest deterrent is Christian Del Bianco is far superior this season to Chris Origlieri, and that gives me pause, but I do think this game's going to be wildly close, just like damn near every Calgary game has been this year, and I think people have just slept on Calgary because they're like, who's on this roster? And it's like, they're fun as fuck when you watch them. Like, they're
Tell them
fun as
again.
shit.
Tell them again. I may crash out from time to time, but man, is this team fun to watch.
They're fun. And, like, even in, like, the losses, like, they've just played good fundamental lacrosse. And, like,
Been on the
you don't
edge of
have
my
to-
seat.
Like, if you're just a spectator, you don't need to see a team win to enjoy watching them.
No. Sometimes my favorite games to watch are teams that I have no stake in whatsoever. And I'm just watching to see the sport. And then you see cool shit, and you're like, damn, that's fucking sick. Or, like, you see some fucked up shit happen, you'd be like, damn, that's fucked up. But, like, you have no emotion about it because it's not against your team or it's not for your team or anything. You're just like, this is the sport. And, like, Calgary can be that for you if you allow it to be. Like you said, even in the losses, like, I've been on the edge of my seat the entire game because they were right there. In almost every single one of these games, they have lost by, less than 5 goals, and they're like a few mistakes or a few inches or a few pipes or a few penalties that they shouldn't have taken away from winning a few of these games.
Right.
If you haven't watched Calgary yet this season, don't do it because I'm a Calgary fan and I'm telling you to. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, they're a ton of fun. Where do you have this game playing out, Mr. Roughneck?
I have the Roughnecks winning.
Which ones?
I'm a rock with my squad, Calgary. Even though it would be wrong to choose against my squad in Vancouver because they are my league pass team. Like I said, this is a win-win for me, regardless of who wins this game. It'll be a win for me mentally and fanually, and the only place I'll take an L is possibly in my picks, which is not a problem because I haven't done well outside of like 2 weeks this year anyway. So I'll take Calgary.
I'm taking Calgary because they're at home. J.I.'s been playing for 7 weeks in training camp at the Stripe versus Max Adler, who I know has been working his ass off because you don't just come out of retirement randomly in a week. Like, you're working towards that. But I think the Calgary fans and that barn is going to be buzzing with so many former faces coming back, and they're going to play villain mode against Vancouver. Something is just telling me Calgary's going to get the job done. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, like 9-8 type thing. Team who has the ball last wins. But this is speaking to me from a Calgary perspective, so I'm going to go Calgary to get the upset on Friday night. 10:30 slot. Saskatchewan at Las Vegas, Steege. I know I talk about Vegas all the time and their offense, but we talk about their defense being piss poor. I'm going Saskatchewan. Frank Skiggs has been playing out of his mind, and I think it's flying under the radar how well he's played. And Saskatchewan's offense is clicking on all cylinders the way that it needs to for the most part this season. There's been a couple of hiccups, and quite frankly just one, where they have one loss in the loss column. I'm going with Saskatchewan to get the road win in Vegas.
Oh, I'm going with Saskatchewan too. As a team that I have said multiple times this year that I would have picked to be my league pass team if it wasn't for the Battle of the Prairies. Zach Mans has continued to make me look like a madman that just can see into the future because he's playing out of his mind, and he has tons of help. Frank Skiggs has been great between the pipes. They have Naso getting them the ball often at the stripe. The pieces are there for them to have success. Vegas will give them a push on the offensive end like they have done to everybody so far this year, but I don't think they have a complete enough team to compete with Saskatchewan.
Which takes us to Toronto and San Diego. I know it's crazy because of what we just saw last week from San Diego's defense and goaltending. I don't know. I just looking at this game, I trust San Diego in this game for some reason, so I'm going with the Seals. Don't ask me why. I think this game's going to be crazy. It's a must-watch, in my opinion, for just the young talent alone. But when you have Trevor Baptiste, who can go out and win you possessions, and you have the transition unit that San Diego does versus what Toronto has right now, outside of Treasy, obviously, I'm going with San Diego, and they're at home.
Oh, I'm going to be on the opposite of you for whatever reason. I'm going to go with Toronto. There's something about the recent struggles of San Diego that is still poking out at me. In the way that they struggle with teams that have offense being the strong point of their identity. Like last week is a great example of that. I'm sorry, like our defense sucks. Like not literally sucks. Like it's not the worst defense in the league, but it's not great. That's the problem with Calgary is the defense. And the goaltending. They're not the back end is not strong enough for them to win the games that the offense then puts them into. Because we played Buffalo a couple weeks ago. We lost by 5 or whatever. Like the offense was in that game offensively the entire time. They had no problem creating opportunities. They had no problem scoring the ball, really. Like, and even their power play sets look good, even when they didn't score. Like, the offense can hang with anyone in the league. They've proven that every single week. The defense has had some weeks where they're like, we're gonna take a few plays. No, not literally, but the defense has had problems. San Diego had problems with this offense. Once again, they're coming into a team where the only thing they're really banking on, I'm kidding, but they have a really good offense. Toronto is really strong all around, but their offense is the strongest part of their team, even though they have Nick Rose on the back end. The names are all over the place in the offense. I think San Diego struggles on the offense or stopping this Toronto offense. And what will be a 2-3 goal game, probably a higher scoring game because of the prowess of both these offenses. But I think Toronto, when you're mixing the young talent with the veteranism that you're going to need late in this game, Toronto has the edge.
Which takes us to Saturday, Buffalo at Rochester. Rochester playing the back half of their doubleheader this weekend, this time at home. And call me crazy, I'm taking Rochester.
Who is this?
Buffalo and Rochester at Rochester.
Oh, I took Buff. And the only reason I took Buffalo is because Rochester's coming off the back-to-back, and you're playing, you're traveling back to Rochester from Philadelphia, which isn't far, but granted, you're traveling that night, not getting a ton of sleep, and you got to be back up for shoot-around, back up, for all this, when you're playing a well-rested Buffalo team that hasn't played since last week, and I guarantee they just watched you play the night before. That's an uphill battle for anyone. I mean, flip the script, I'd pick Rochester. Honestly, it doesn't matter what two teams are in this position. If there's a team that's playing the night before and then has to travel home that night to then turn around and play any team in this league, I'm going to pick the other team. And I'll take an L for doing that and look stupid if that's the case. But the odds are so stacked against you, and even more so playing a team like Buffalo.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun-ass game, though, for sure. And then we go to the other 7 o'clock game, Halifax at Oshawa. Halifax on the tail end of a back-to-back, both of their games on the road. This game's going to be crazy. But until Oshawa can show me that they can close a game out, I got to go with Halifax.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Halifax as well. And that's my exact positioning on this. I know Halifax just played the night before, but you got to show me you can win a game. You got to show me that you won't have struggles on the defensive end. And that's not Doug Jameson, who has played good, but he needs help in front of him. And then the offense has to be able to outscore another offense, which has also had its problems from time to time. The offense, in my opinion, I'm feeling a little bit better about over the last couple of weeks as Simmer has heated back up. And, you got Dyson Williams to pour in for you last week. Ty Kurtz did some help for you. So the offense is starting to spurt, but if the defense can't give you help in front of Doug Jameson, and if you can't, get some help even to the offense in transition, you're going to have problems winning in this league. And Halifax is a team where you're going to need both of those things in order to win.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a fascinating matchup, especially with the two goaltenders there and seeing what Halifax will be able to do on the back half of their doubleheader, their road trip doubleheader. And then 7:30 Eastern, Deej, we got Colorado at Georgia, battle of Team Canada goalies. I mean, it's going to be awesome to see what this Colorado offense can do against Brett Dobson, but until Georgia's offense shows me any signs of consistency, I'm going with Jack Hanna and the Mammoth.
Bingo. That's exactly where I was going. Pre-Jack Hanna trade, I might have had a little more thought into this game. Post-trade, watching that offense explode last week, knowing that they're going to have another couple hours, maybe even with each other than they had the week before. Andrew Q might be coming back. If he does, that only makes this pick even stronger for me. I think the Colorado offense has everything it needs to pepper Dobson with shots and cash in on just enough opportunities to outlast Georgia, which I think Georgia might have a decent offensive game. But like you said, they're not consistent enough on that side of the ball for me to feel confident to give them a win.
So there it is. For our picks, I am going Halifax, Rochester, Calgary, Saskatchewan, San Diego, Rochester, Halifax, Colorado. Deej, you are going Ottawa?
Yep.
Ottawa, Rochester, Calgary, Saskatchewan, Toronto, Buffalo, Halifax, and Colorado. And those are our picks. You'll see Hoots' pick on the graphic. I'm sure he's picking Georgia because he's an absolute menace. But those are
we did both pick Colorado, and we know how we feel about that as a pod. So
it's true. We shall see. Very interesting, Mr. Wabbit.
Don't start with me right now.
I'm Elmer Fudd. I'm hunting wabbits.
Oh, do not start with me right now.
Those are our NLL Week 7 picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. One final thing here on the episode. Just wanted to wish a big happy birthday to the big dog, our guy, Mike Rabil, the man, the myth, the legend. Wouldn't be where we are without his support and just mentorship and guidance in so many ways. And I was talking to the big dog earlier this week. We are working to get him on prior to Champ Series to preview the whole shebang with us. So looking forward to having the return of Mike Rabil on OTB. But happy birthday to our guy. And also happy birthday to our guy, Chris Rosenthall. The boy Rosie celebrated his birthday earlier this week. An absolute legend, friend of the program, and does incredible work himself. And for Rosie's birthday's sake, I hope Halifax goes 2-0 to help celebrate Rosie's next trip around the sun. So shout out to Mike Rabil and Chris Rosenthal. Happy birthday to the fellas.
Yeah, absolutely. Rosie, all the things you do for the game, all the chats we have and the good times, the laughs. Continue to do what you do. The work you do is awesome. It's important to have more people like yourself in the game. So don't think your work goes unnoticed, unloved, on anything, because it doesn't. You're amazing. And looking forward to seeing you at another game this weekend. Or this summer. And then, big homie, keep living, man. Dad's strength looks great on you. PLL is...
Dude, he's looking slim.
Giving me so many great things in life. I know. He looks great. He looks great.
He also does not look his age.
When is he ever?
I mean, valid, but even more so now. The dad glow has him looking 10 years younger.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that could happen. But yeah, happy birthday again, man. Looking forward to talking to you soon and getting to chop it up, man. It's been a minute.
It's going to be a ton of fun. We have some guests in the pipeline as well, other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Rabil. So stay tuned for those. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. Follow Underground Industries at The Underground Industries on Instagram and TikTok. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@TheUndergroundIndustries. Follow Deej at SCS_next great. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media. Follow Ryan Tessier at RJ Clip That. And follow Zach Weens at zachweens.media on Instagram. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Leave a comment on Spotify. You can watch the show on Spotify now as well. And, of course, subscribe to both the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week. And you can watch it in the collabs tab on the OTB channel as well. But you get full video episodes of every original 6 show on our network on the Underground Sports channel, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. We are at 1,239 subscribers. Get us to 1,300 before the end of the month. And get us to 100 subscribers on the OTB channel, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. You have about 20 days at the time of listening to this to get those subscribers in. So Deej, Hoots, and Jackie Knight host the OTB College Show right on time for the start of the season. youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. And this has been episode number 409 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, most disrespectful and unprofessional lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network, OTB. Schmell me. Enjoy the weekend of lacrosse. It's going to be a ton of fun. I will be reporting live from Xfinity Mobile Arena on Friday night, so I'll catch you all there. But until next week, we will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace.